How to thread the MyLock 454D serger. Turn off the power switch before threading the machine. Open the looper cover and side cover. A convenient threading chart is viewable on the machine body inside the looper cover, and it numbers them in the best order to thread. Raise the presser foot to release the tension discs. Raise the thread guide to its highest position. First, draw the thread through the rightmost thread guide from back to front. If the thread is coming out from the thread guide groove, pass the thread through the thread guide hole again. Slide the thread under the top cover thread guide. Hold the thread and tug gently to ensure the thread is correctly inserted between the tension discs. Draw the thread down through the channel and hook the thread into the looper thread guide on the right. Gently slide the thread into the lower thread guide hook. Pass the thread through the lower looper thread take-up lever. Pass the thread through the lower looper thread guide A. To thread the final few guides, turn the hand wheel towards you to move the lower looper to the right side. On the lower looper thread guide A, you will notice an arrow. Push up on the lower looper thread guide A. This will move the next guides into better view. With the thread in one hand and the tweezers in the other, pass the thread through the lower looper thread guide B. Then pass the thread through the next lower looper thread guide C. Push the lower looper thread guide A down to return it to its original position. Use the tweezers to thread the hole on the lower looper. Pull the thread towards the back of the machine and away from the upper looper. Now let's thread the upper looper following the red guides. Draw the thread through the thread guide second from the right, from back to front. Slide the thread under the top cover thread guide and down through the tension disc. Draw the thread down through the channel and hook the thread into the looper thread guide on the left. Pass the thread through the upper looper thread take-up lever. Next, draw the thread up through the upper looper thread guide. Using your tweezers, pass the thread through the hole on the upper looper. Pull the thread towards the back of the machine. Let's thread the right needle. Draw the thread through the thread guide second from the left. Slide the thread under the top cover thread guide. Pass the thread through the tension discs. Pass the thread down and to the left under the front cover thread guide B. Guide the thread through the take-up lever cover. Finally, guide the thread over the front cover thread guide C. Insert the thread into the right slot of the needle thread guide plate. Raise the needle to its highest position and pass the thread through the needle bar thread guide from left to right. Use your tweezers to thread the needle from front to back and pull the thread towards the back of the machine. Now let's thread the left needle. Draw the thread through the leftmost thread guide. Slide the thread under the top cover thread guide. Pass the thread down through the tension discs. Slide the thread from the bottom of the front cover thread guide B and across the take-up lever cover from right to left. Guide the thread over the front cover thread guide C. Insert the thread into the left slot of the needle thread guide plate and down through the needle bar thread guide. Using tweezers, pass the thread through the needle from front to back, pulling the thread towards the back of the machine. Gently pull all 4 threads towards the back of the machine. Run the threads under the presser foot and lower the foot. Close the side cover and looper cover. Turn the hand wheel towards you to chain off a few stitches. Now you are ready to begin sewing.